Hello and welcome to the Concordia Lutheran High School video update for November. Got lots going on here at Concordia Lutheran High School. One thing that we want to remind you of is the auction coming up, Cadets in Cadence, and that's going to be December 1st. You know, we have over 400 people registered for this event already. It's going to be fantastic. It's going to be spectacular. There's still time to register. There's still time to get tickets. So just call the office. We'd love to have you celebrate. And that is a support event for Concordia Lutheran High School, and we continue to need that. Our students and families need that, whether it's for financial aid or other things. So think about coming out and celebrating with us, the ministry at Concordia Lutheran High School, December 1st at the auction. Another event I'd like to tell you about is Giving Tuesday. Giving Tuesday is coming up to Tuesday, November 27th. It's an opportunity for us to raise some funds for Concordia again, to give back a little bit. This was started a few years ago in response to Black Friday and all of the commercial spending that goes on and so on and so forth. And then Giving Tuesday, a chance to kind of center ourselves on, okay, what areas can we give to? So stay tuned for information on Giving Tuesday. One of the fantastic events that comes up in December here at Concordia Lutheran High School is Christmas at the Embassy. And that's going to be December the 16th. It's a Sunday at the Embassy Theater at 4 o'clock. It's a wonderful, wonderful event. It features our choirs and our bands, our musical folks here at Concordia to tell the story, really to tell the story of Christ's birth and salvation. And we're going to be talking to our choir director, Mr. Tavis Schlicker, a little bit more about the preparation for that event and just how we're going to tell the story this year. Okay, we are here with the man behind the choral music, Mr. Tavis Schlicker here, and talking about a little bit about the choral program, but really most specifically on Christmas at the Embassy, which is coming up in just about a month here. And we're asking Tavis just to tell us a little about his experience so far with that concert, and then what we can expect coming up.
You bet. Christmas at the Embassy is always an awesome time for us, Michael. We feel like it's really our opportunity to share in a very overt way that a lot of schools can't do the message of salvation that we've got through the birth of Christ here, and in a very open community sort of way. So we always have the best attendance of the year at our Christmas concert because we're at the Embassy downtown, and it's pretty incredible. It's neat to be in that facility, but it's neat to collaborate with all of our bands and our orchestra and all of our choir members and some of our junior high friends and do up a really, really big celebration of what God's done for us. One of the highlights, I think, is the Hallelujah Chorus at the end of the first act every year, and we invite some audience members to come and sing, and it's a big deal.
Yeah, I enjoy doing that. It's awesome not only to hear it, but also to be a part of it as well and sing. And so it is a performance-based thing for our choir, but it's also an opportunity to tell a story through music.
Absolutely.
And just talk about how that comes up organically through the year and through the kids and how you direct them and the pieces that might be commissioned specifically for this event. Talk about that a little bit.
Sure. So Mr. Frederick and I, the band director, sit down at the end of last year and start crafting, hey, what do we want for a theme? How do we want to kind of tie things together? And then we invite a composer from somewhere in the world to write a brand new piece of music for us. So this year we've commissioned Dr. Bill Brusik out of Texas to write a piece that's combining all of our musical forces, and it works 5 songs together and weaves them in a really interesting way. In fact, some songs you wouldn't think that might fit together. So that'll be the opening of the concert. It's about a 12-minute long epic piece of music that will be world premiered by the Concordia Lutheran High School musicians at our Christmas concert. So it's pretty neat to have that opportunity to share in musical collaboration, but ultimately to share in faith and sharing the gospel message.
Yeah, I find it interesting. It's certainly one of my favorite events of the year, and I think until you come and experience it, you don't really understand what it's about or see what it's about. But what a blessing it is to take advantage of the fact that we can use the talents of the kids and our directors to share the story. Yeah, and that really, really is at the heart of Concordia and what we're trying to accomplish.
Absolutely.
So we hope to see you there at Christmas at the Embassy. And Ms. Schlicker, thanks so much for what you do with our kids.
Thank you. Be there.
We're also So proud of the folks that have just participated in many things here at Concordia High School this past fall. One of those groups is our marching band. Maybe you've heard, for the 12th year in a row, the marching band has made the state finals. That's a huge accomplishment. Our current band director, Mr. Adam Frederick, and obviously our previous band director, Mrs. Diane Mollering, just great leaders in that area and opportunities for us to have our kids involved in a high-level, high-caliber marching band environment. So they made it to the state finals, and we're going to talk to Mr. Adam Frederick a little bit about the preparation for that, what the show was about this year, how they really got that going, and what message they told, and what the experience was not only there, and then how you can hear the band coming up again at Christmas at the Embassy as they'll work with our choirs and the various folks that put that concert together. So we're going to take a minute here and talk with Mr. Friedrich. And we are here with the man behind the instrumental music program here at Concordia Lutheran High School, Mr. Adam Frederick. Adam, good to have you. Thanks for joining us today. So our marching band is very good, and they've done lots of wonderful things. And not only has Adam done that, but before him, Mrs. Diane Mollering. And when I say very good, I mean state level good. Having been to the state finals 12 years in a row now. So we have Adam here. We just want to talk a little bit about what the show was this year and how the season went, and just talk a little bit about the marching band show this year.
Yeah, so our 2018 production was called Heavenly Light, and basically was about the representation of stained glass windows. And so we did that kind of from three formats of this, as we always do with our shows. We do it from a musical perspective, we do it from a visual perspective, and then we do it because we're here at a Christian school, Lutheran school, we get the opportunity to do it from a theological perspective. So musically this year, we took the show through a kind of chronology of music history. So we started with the first piece of harmonic music ever written, which was Pope Marcellus Mass by Giovanni Palestrina. Moved into our good old-fashioned Lutheran heritage with J.S. Bach's Break Forth, O Beautis, Heavenly Light as our ballad, and it featured our drum major and senior Izzy Heibeck on soprano saxophone, and she was awesome. And then our final movement was a piece written just for us this year by our music designer and arranger, Mr. Alex Yoder. And it was just an absolutely fantastic musical production. It was so much fun to go to work on that every single day. From a visual perspective, we looked very, very different for Concordia this year. We're so used to seeing the maroon, the gold, and the crimson out there. And this year we decided to scrap all of that and go dressed in all black. Very, very different for Concordia, but something that's happening in the marching activity as a whole is that there are these costumes that are being presented through the ensemble, and they're adding a whole other dimension of visual appeal to the ensemble, and they're now a part of the costuming and a part of the program as a whole. And so our ensemble is dressed in all black to represent the iron from our stained glass windows, and then our color guard was uniquely featured, and each of them had their own color of kind of each different shade of glass. And so it was really, really unique to see how our visual designer, Mike Bates, put all of those elements together. He would create these frames with the ensemble members, and then he would have the color guard members in the middle, making this literal stained glass window out on the field. And then finally, from a theological perspective, we took the iron of the stained glass window to mean a little bit more like the law, the Old Testament. And then our ballad, Break Forth, O Beautis, Heavenly Light, which is actually a Christmas hymn, by the way, was the representation of Jesus Christ coming into our world, adding a little bit of color, a little bit of life to that iron law and a representation of that. And then our final movement was the design team's interpretation of what our mission is as Christians. And that is to take the light, which is what shines through the window to make the window light up, take that light of Christ to shine through us, through our show, and out into our audiences and into the judges' hearts. And so it was a really kind of cohesive package, and it was an absolute blast to work on this show this year with all of these different design elements. And we have some of the best and hardest working kids in the state of Indiana. So it was great to go to rehearsal every single week.
That's great. Yeah, and as we're talking, surrounded by so many guys in here, it's just, you can't help but see, the iron and the colors come through. And what I enjoy just so much about our music program and going down to the state finals is just being able to see how the kids are able to tell the story through music to a whole host of people at Lucas Oil Stadium. I mean, it's just fantastic.
Yeah, and that's one of our goals every year. Obviously we have the competitive side of us that, our human nature wants us to win. But we also have our mission as Concordia Lutheran High School is to spread that gospel message. And you'll see all sorts of imagery through that, whether it's sets of the cross in terms of our forms, or when we come out for retreat at state finals, we come down in a cross and the kids sit in a cross. We try to be as intentional about our message as possible so that we can reach the maximum amount of people to see that. Because we've got our parents and our fans and we love them dearly, but they've seen this every week. One of the great advantages of getting to state finals is we get to see a lot of people that we haven't seen all season. And so we get that opportunity to spread that gospel message to so many more people. And that's what our mission was this year and every year. But it was really, really evident through this year's show.
Yeah.
So.
But it's just great to see all the work and the effort to go into it.
Yes.
Because you don't just get invited to the state finals. You have to make it. You have to be at that caliber, and in order to get that opportunity, there's the work behind the scenes that goes into that. So thank you for that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so it's great. We appreciate all the efforts and time there. And then also Christmas at the Embassy is coming up.
Christmas at the Embassy.
So we're just kind of giving people a first look. Hey, here's what it's going to be. Here's what it's going to look like. So talk about from the instrumental perspective what you're looking forward to.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it all. Really, I mean, I first off love playing in that gorgeous theater downtown. It is one of the best acoustical environments that you could put an ensemble in, and so to get in there every year is fantastic. So always look forward to that, and then. We've just got some really exciting things going on in the instrumental world, from the symphonic band to orchestra to jazz band, and there's just so many opportunities there at that theater with this concert to really celebrate Christmas, and that's what it's all about. That's what we're looking forward to.
Well, again, Adam, thanks so much for your efforts, and we look forward to having people come out to Christmas at the Embassy, and then also as we roll into next year, continue to come out and see the marching band play.
Yes, absolutely.
Great, thanks, Adam.
Thank you.
Another great opportunity this past fall for some of our student athletes is our boys soccer team. They've been experiencing some historic success recently. And our boys soccer coach, Mr. Kevin Mackey, also a math teacher here at Concordia, we're going to talk to him about the experience of the soccer team and not only about the success that they've had on the field, but what it really means to be a soccer player at Concordia and what he tries to do in leading that group of young men in their efforts to be Christian young men. So we're going to talk to Coach Mackey here about the season, not only this year but last year, some of the successes they've had and some of the ways in which he tries to form that group. All right, so we're here with Mr. Kevin Mackey. He's a math teacher and current boys soccer coach here at Concordia Lutheran High School. So Kevin, welcome. Thanks for being here. And why don't you tell us a little about yourself, your connection with Concordia?
Well, it's been a long connection with Concordia, but I've been coaching soccer here for 18 years, since 2001, fall 2001, and been teaching here since 2004, fall 2004. I was teaching geometry in the classroom. I took geometry in because I'm a graduate in 1991, and then I just saw Mr. Lucky and said, hey, this is the reason I became a geometry teacher, and he looks at me like, really? But yes, and so that's great to see and come back and see him, and then the things that he's done for me when I was here, and then just now with soccer, being the soccer coach for 18 seasons, and we've had some pretty successful seasons. We've won now, as me as a soccer coach, 4 sectional titles, and then the last couple of years we were able to be very successful when it comes to postseason play. We got down to the state championship game last year, 2017, and lost to Evansville Memorial, who ended up being ranked 21st in the nation at the end of that year, and lost to them 2-0. And then this past year we made it semi-state and lost to Bishop Knoll 3-2. And they ended up being the state champions as well.
Oh, wow.
So fun. And then just what it was is the seniors last year really kept it together. They came in as a freshman group and one of the first classes for a few years that stuck it out, and 12 seniors were on that team.
Wow.
In 2017, and 8 of them were there all 4 seasons. This year we had 9 seniors, and 8 of them were with the program all 4 seasons. And just those guys stepping it up, the leadership roles on and off the field, really was our success. And having that trust factor and so forth. It was a lot of fun. And bringing in the leadership roles with the kids as Christian young men is the best part of it.
Yeah. So very successful. Matter of fact, historic success.
Yes.
Concordia the last couple of years for our boys soccer program. I know you put a lot of work and effort into it. I know you love it. But tell us a little bit about just the interaction with the kids and why you coach and what makes coaching for you here a little different at Concordia.
What it comes into is just when I was coached here at Concordia, how those coaches can really be beneficial for you later on. I know you've been coached and had success when you were in high school, and you can think of things that coaches have done for you. And also as a teacher, just bringing the things in and just, we have a verse for the year that we always focus on, and how that can not just be on the field, how we play. Our verse this year was Mark 12, and what is the greatest commandment? To love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your mind, and with all your strength, because our focus was heart of a champion this year. And talking about, not to just want a heart of a champion to get there, and we just missed being a state champion last year, and then this year even fell a little bit short, but watching the guys grow, and even though we lost that last game, them not totally devastated. They were somewhat devastated, but now they're just like, it's a game.
Yeah.
But we grew so much as a team.
Yeah.
That's gonna be what we're looking at in the big picture.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, just one of our programs here that had a lot of success in the fall, and Coach Mackey, just thanks so much for the investment that you put in for the boys and for Concordia as a whole. I know you love it, in alumnus, and really do a good job. So thanks so much.
Thank you.
More historic success for Concordia this past fall was in our boys cross country team. Both of our cross country teams have just accomplished so much in the recent past. The boys this year had a historic finish of 4th place in the state finals. And we're going to talk to Mr. Scott Steffen, our cross country coach for both teams, just about how that season went and how previous seasons have gone, and what they do to prepare for their seasons, and a little bit about the team bonding that goes on. One of the great things that I get to see and experience is all of the behind-the-scenes stuff that happens at Concordia High School. We see in the news how the results, how they finished, how the kids did, and all of those kind of things. But it's really neat to see what happens in the formation with the coaches and the student athletes and the music students behind the scenes, and getting to see who these folks are that are leading our kids. And how they're just doing it. So we're going to take some time with Coach Steffen to hear about the cross-country program here in a second. All right, we are here with our boys and girls cross-country coach, Mr. Scott Steffen. Thanks for joining us, Coach Steffen, and talking a little bit about our cross-country program here. A lot of success over the last couple of years, but as we get started, why don't you just tell us a little bit about yourself and how long you've been at Concordia?
Sure. It's my 4th year at Concordia, coaching cross country and track, and came from a public school here in the Fort Wayne area, and have really enjoyed the culture that is Concordia.
Yeah, great. So let's talk a little bit about cross country, right? And we'll start. We had a historic season for the boys. They finished 4th in the state, which is the best finish ever. And as I tell the kids in our community, when the school's been around over 80 years, it's hard to get firsts, and we had one this year. So why don't you talk a little bit about the accomplishments of the boys team and also the girls team?
Sure. When I came 4 years ago, the first thing I noticed was the culture of the team and the school, and that's just continued to build. And over the last 4 years, we have made state on the boys' side all 4 years. 3 years ago, we placed 5th, and then this year, obviously, we did get 4th. The girls team joined us at state last year and just missed going back again this year, but Overall, the boys team over the last 4 years, we've won 4 conference championships and made state all 4 years. The girls did win a conference championship last year, came up second this year. So overall, the program I do believe is heading in a great direction. We've got a lot of youth on the team this year that is exciting for future years, but we also enjoy the success that we had this year.
Sure. And you've been a parent in the program. Your son Noah was here for a little while.
Yeah. I had the privilege of coaching my son Noah for 2 years. He is now up running with Zach Panning up at Grand Valley State University and loving that. But was quite a transition from coaching him through high school to having him off. But again, the culture of this team is just keeps pulling me in, and I love it's such a blessing to be part of the program.
Yeah, and so I think that's one of the neat things about cross country in the program overall. But what they talk about a lot is that team bonding and how being a part of that team and you're out there, right? You're running and it's you against the clock, but then there's this team aspect to it. Yeah. Talk a little bit about how that manufactures within the team.
Sure, I think it all starts in our summer program. We're out there at the different parks around Fort Wayne running, and it could be hot, it could be just miserable, but we're all out there together, and it's kind of a band of brothers and sisters, and I think that starts at the end of summer. We do go to a camp up at Pokagon for 3 or 4 nights, and again, I think that helps bring it together. Part of the culture, part of the personality of the team, but I think that's what makes it special. To hear our kids talk to the other students about, hey, you need to join cross country, that in itself, I think, tells me that we are doing some of the right things.
Yeah. Well, thanks so much for the effort and the time that you give to our student athletes here. It's much appreciated. Congratulations on the success, but more important, getting kids together to have a positive experience in this Christ Center place. So thanks so much.
You bet. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
The November Who Is section is with our Director of Financial Aid, Ms. Debbie Shum. She came to us a couple of years ago, and she orchestrates all of the financial aid programs here at Concordia Lutheran High School. We get it. We're a tuition school, and so there's a cost involved to come to Concordia, have access to this Christ-centered education and all of the myriad of wonderful things that go along with that and our extracurricular and co-curricular programs. And so there are big questions out there. Boy, can I afford it? How do I afford it? What would it cost for me and my family to do this? So we're going to talk to Debbie a little bit about those financial aid programs and what they are and how we do our best to try to remove obstacles for families to have access to Concordia. So our Who Is section, Ms. Debbie Shum, our Director of Financial Aid. All right, we are here with our Who Is section, and this month, Who is Debbie Shum. Debbie is our Director of Financial Aid, and so we're going to talk to her a little bit about her connection with Concordia, and then about what she does here, and what we can know about financial aid here at Concordia Lutheran High School. So, Debbie, thanks for joining us this month, and why don't you just tell people your connection with Concordia?
I am a 1996 graduate of Concordia High School, went through the RTC program and sang in the a cappella choir. Was excited to come back almost 2 years ago now as the director and just enjoy being here.
Yeah, so RTC and a cappella, that's a lot of time. A lot of probably great experiences in that, right? With those two programs. Very good programs here at Concordia. So, Debbie, as you work here at Concordia, what's your favorite thing about serving at Concordia and doing the role that you do?
I think my favorite is seeing all my old friends or people that I went to high school with and helping them make Concordia a reality for their families.
Yeah, it is. Certainly as time goes on, and we are a tuition school, and so that is part of the whole deal. But we want to make sure that that's accessible for folks, because we believe very much in what we do here and want students to have that opportunity and their families to have those opportunities. And so try to make it a strong effort to open those doors. So as we think about financial aid, what would you want people to know about whether it's the process or what they can maybe qualify for? What should people know about financial aid here at Concordia?
My first thing would be, make sure you talk to me. If you're needing assistance, if you don't talk to me about it, I'm not going to know. And so we can go over those options of what is available. We have academic, we have need-based. The churches offer scholarships as well. So just making sure you come and talk to me. There might be things that I don't know that I can help with. And so those opportunities are available if you just come and talk with me.
Yeah. The reality is that there are a whole host of students here that are on financial aid, right? That have some help in some way, shape, or form. It's a tremendously high percentage, in the 98 percentile or so of students that are here on financial aid. And Debbie does a fantastic job of helping people through the process and being able to identify those areas that they can qualify for and be able to open doors to come in and have this wonderful Christ-centered education, in addition to then all the extracurricular opportunities that they have, whatever they want to get involved in. So thanks so much, Debbie, for being on today. We appreciate it. Come see Debbie. Come talk to her if you're thinking Concordia, if you're looking at options and you're not quite sure, can I make it work? Come talk to Debbie. She's going to be able to help you out and identify those ways that can open doors to Concordia. Thanks, Debbie. So thanks again for joining us in this Concordia Lutheran High School video update. It's really great to have an opportunity to share with you, as part of your ministry, as part of the community, what goes on here at Concordia, and how we'd love to continue to connect with you, to share with you the ways in which God is working within the faculty and staff and students here in this Christ-centered environment. Thanks so much for tuning in, and thanks so much for being a part of our ministry.